Another way to get your symmetry is to actually use the mirror tool while you're editing. And sometimes that gives you what you're looking for, and sometimes it doesn't, but it's only because the mirroring has certain qualities to it, and so you have to kind of follow the rules of mirroring, so to speak, and I'll show you what I mean. So we'll start with the same simple object, and I'll just zoom in a little bit, and I will grab an outline tool again, snap. Let's see, and I'm snapping to grid over here, and I'll snap 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'll snap that one up there, and then say I'll just come down here. We'll make that a straight line. Let's see, I'll make it more rectangular shaped. So up here are the mirroring tools, and these two are mirror horizontally, and this one is vertically. And you would think, oh, well, we want to mirror this vertically. So you have your node here as the last node, and you would think, okay, I want these two sides to be made. So you click on this one, but that's what you get. And that's not really what we want. We wanted it to close up and create the same two sides. So let's Control Z on that one. And then this one is horizontally. So wherever your last node is here, it will take like a vertical line and it'll mirror your design horizontally. So if I click that, you'll see it's over here. It's the same object. If you notice, if I take that away, you know, it's just mirrored there. Obviously, we don't want that one. Control Z. And if you do this one, you can see where the symmetry line is. It's kind of diagonally there. And that's just telling you that wherever you're at, there's going to be a line of symmetry drawn, and whatever you have here is going to mirror it. So this dotted line of symmetry is going to give us this one first here, and then this one, and then it'll curve, and you'll see what I mean. So you'll see it made this shape. This is our line of symmetry. So we obviously don't want that one either. So how could we get our shape by using the mirror? Well, if you think about the rules of duplicate and mirror, it has to be exactly mirrored from your ending point. So we really have to create it so that it's split here in the first place. And same thing down here for this line, and I'll show you what I mean. So if I want to split this, this has to be the end node. So I have to reverse it. And then if I want to delete this, I have to make this a square node. So just click here and hit insert up here. So we have a square node. Now we can click here and delete. So now we'll get a mirror of this side, okay? But we also want this exact side to be over here. Well, we have to cut this in half then. So we'll click here, insert. We have a square node. We got to delete this one, reverse stitches, delete. So now we have this shape that is like half of what we started with, basically. Now you can use these tools because these tools are going to remember everything from the start. So we want this to be mirrored down here vertically, right here. If I hover, it should show up. Okay, so I'll click that. And so now it mirrored this. And now if you'll notice, these are kind of like highlighted, both of them. Well, that's telling you that you can still mirror some more. So now we want to mirror horizontally, this one, or we can just complete it because our line of symmetry right now is going to be right here. So if I clicked here, I get it completed. If I Control Z, and if I click here on this one to close it, I get the same thing. So, and then I'll just hit enter. So that's kind of interesting how that, mirror works. And what you want to do is you can start with the design that you think you want, like how I did, how I started with the two sides, and then just cut each of those sides in half, just like I did. So that's kind of fun. Now you can use the mirror tools either while you're editing and you just need them here and there while you're creating a design, or you could use it to actually, create the full design like we did here. In other words, let's just say, let's get rid of this one. And let's just say that you wanted to try to make a butterfly. So I'll click here and I'll just maybe click close to the origin here. I'll snap there, and I don't quite know where I'm going with this, but I'll click and snap. I'm still snapping to the grid, and I know I've got a curve, but then I have to create an S, so I need a square node to create an S. So usually the square node is kind of on the straightaway. Let me think. There we go. Okay, so this one's kind of on the straightaway. And I could say to myself, well, I'd like to create that same shape without having to mess with it. But here's the thing. Your choice is here, these two on the right. Well, the far right is got a little line of symmetry that's horizontal, meaning come off your last node here and you have this imaginary horizontal line of symmetry, which allows us to mirror this object vertically. So it's going to mirror it up here if I hit it. And so then that's what we would get. So that's not what we'd want. So Control Z, and then you're like, okay, well, what about this one? Well, this line of symmetry is vertical, and that allows us to mirror horizontally. So this line of symmetry is vertical. So at your end point, you've got a vertical line, excuse me, of symmetry. So you're like, okay, well, how's that gonna go? Well, it made it horizontally right next to it. And that's pretty. If you're making a frame or something, that would be great. But we don't want that here. And, you know, if you did want this frame, by the way, since these are still selected, so to speak, so now Embird is going to work with you. It's going to remember everything. So now I could mirror this. So, and remember, if I mirror it vertically, that means there's a horizontal line here being drawn, and this will mirror over here if I did that. Control Z. And if I did this, though, it'd be a vertical line, you know, here. And let me erase the guides. And it would just make another one over there. Show you. It's off the page. It's off the grid. So it's the same thing off the grid. So, and I'll Control Z back. If I did this one, you could see the line of symmetry here connects the end point that we're on to the beginning where we started. That's our line of symmetry now. And it'll complete it again. So let's Control Z and get back to the butterfly. Okay. So far, none of these have quite helped us create, you know, kind of like a butterfly shape. Even if at this point here, I missed one. If I click this to close it, our line of symmetry for closing the shape is from the end to the beginning. So it would be as if we took this, rotated it. See if I can get it at the right angle. So that's our line of symmetry. And you could see how the line of symmetry kind of like it's on the other side of this part of our S. Well, that tells you that when we close it, you're going to have an intersection here. Because it's not a hollow concave shape, it's got this convexity. I guess this is concave and this would be convex. So when I complete it, that's what we get. See it mirrored. Here's our line of symmetry. Here was our original, and it just mirrored it back. And so you would say to yourself, well, I don't really want that either, but you can work with it. So you could hit OK or check. Well, actually, let me go back to edit. You could click on this node and right click over a little bit. If that happens, just move your cursor over a little and right click again. But you'll split it. And so now we have two objects. So we'd never had to mess with making our second shape because now we can just take our second shape and just move it, and we can hold our right mouse button and maybe rotate it and move it and rotate it, and then maybe move it into place, and maybe get something that we kind of like, and then transform, snap, and maybe it's starting to look like something, and you could see that the scissors are gone. Now if we combine that, again, we might, it didn't combine, so we'll hit the second one, edit, snap, nothing happened, but now it'll combine, and there we have our one object. This one I'm not sure what I did there, but, and so it doesn't, you know, really look like a butterfly yet, but we can maybe say, well, it's not bad. I could maybe take this and drag it down and snap it there. And then maybe this side is the side that I kind of like for the top part of my butterfly. And I'll just come over and mirror that. Now, my line of symmetry is vertical, so I could close it right here. If I duplicate and mirror it, I get that. Control C. But if I close it, I get the same thing. And these points you might not like. Maybe they were too, maybe I should have edited them. Let's see. I could maybe edit. So right now it's okay. I don't have to worry too much about getting this one and this one the same, because, you know, this top and bottom are different, but it just maybe saved me a little bit of time. Okay. And then maybe now I'll click this and I'll complete it. And, you know, that could be the top part, or it could be anything, part of a flower you're going to make, or whatever. And then you can actually just copy and paste it, Control C, Control V, and flip this one and bring it down and maybe shrink it up a little. And not sure if I like that. I'll shrink it this way maybe. And transform center. And I know it's not the best, but but I mean, it is a start, and you can then take these and you can envelope them some more. You could go into, you know, you could take one at a time. I could take this one here, transform envelope, and I'm not sure how many curves I have going on, how many round nodes I have, but I'll just try it. I'll just do 2 curves, and I'll leave it horizontal and vertical checked, and I'll drag that down, and that doesn't look like a butterfly. Well, I have that going up, so I'll just have it, I think if I just have it vertical, this one will just move. No, they're both moving. Oh, okay. If I click horizontal and uncheck vertical, then, and if I click this square node, oh, it's still moving them. That's weird. Okay, so that's just moving it down. It is hard to get it used to it. And let's take one of these. Okay, I'm just on vertical now. So it's only affecting the vertical sides, not these horizontal sides. Oh, I got a pointed node there. Let's, oh, when I clicked them both, so they both became affected. Well, that's kind of cool. I mean, this is hard to get used to, and I see a pointed node right there, but I could always edit this when I get back, you know, by just doing 1/2 and then copying and pasting and so on. So if I finish that, and then maybe edit this one and so on in the same manner, I can do that. I think I've got horizontal and vertical. But I just kind of want the vertical to be affected. So even though I'm pulling a horizontal node, I don't like that. That does not look like a butterfly. But you kind of get the idea. I mean, there's so many ways you could do this. I don't want to take this square node and bring it in because then I'll get a point. See? Even though that looks cute, but that's not really what I want. I kind of wanted this to be more S-shaped, but I'm on vertical, so let's see. So you can see that my vector shape is S-shaped, but this isn't. It's trying to affect this, but it can't, you know, affect it as much as I wanted to. So, if you click horizontal and vertical, it all seems to change. So let's see if I can get it to go. Yeah, now it's starting to come down on top. So I'm going to just let that go because it is kind of hard to affect it in that manner. And then down here, I'll come down here and I'll hit edit. And let's see, I'm just going to delete this and make this round. And I'm going to split it here. It's starting here. I'll right click split. And that's the one I'll delete. I'll click this one, edit. And so now I'll go ahead and duplicate and mirror. Let's see. Here's my line of symmetry. So I can complete it, or I could have clicked this one. It would have done the same thing. Okay. And now, they're not connected. I could maybe click this and click snap to node and uncheck that and try and snap that. We don't have the S shape here that I wanted because you need a square node for that. So if I click here and insert, before I start moving anything, I'm going to hit enter, Control C, Control V, turn it yellow. I'm going to snap to the yellow. Edit. Okay, and so I'll bring this up, but I'll slide this down and snap to object edges. So I'm snapping to the yellow so I don't lose my shape. I have to come in more. Whenever you make an S, one of them has to be, the square node has to be on the straightaway, wherever it becomes straight. I'm still snapping to object edge. Okay, so it's starting there. I'll split it here. Delete that. Edit. And now I'll just mirror that. Either way. Get rid of the yellow. That's an interesting butterfly. I have never seen a butterfly like that. But, it's cute. It is cute. I would like to get this pointed downward like my other butterfly. I'll save this one. Okay. And let's do one more thing where, say we're going to use a shape, and I'll just say, let's just start with one of my shapes here. Let me edit this and split it. Split. And let's see, I'll edit this one and I'll split it. And I'm just gonna get rid of those shapes. So let's just say that I have this shape here, and I'm just going to make it smaller. And I like that shape, and I'd like to repeat it, but I want to make sure everything stays connected and so on. So, and then I kind of want maybe another shape attached onto it, but I think I'd like another S shape attached onto it. So what I would do is I would just create an S shape, or I could just use that one or any of these, either way. But the easiest way to create an S is to just use your grid. And I'll just snap and whoops, snap there and there. And I'll click here. And then I'll just click down there. And I'll hit enter. And now that I have it created, I'll just grab it by the corner and make it smaller, and then maybe just snap it. Not to this one, but to the one above it. Whoops. Oh, it's yellow. I was doing it in yellow. Let's bring it before, and I'll snap it. So that's kind of not what I wanted. So let me erase my guides. It's not bad. It's not bad. But maybe I want this. Reverse nodes. Delete that. And now I'll bring these both the same color. And maybe I'll rotate them right. And, I have nice smooth lines. And I'm going to just shorten it up. And if I wanted to create something, let me edit that so it snaps. Oh, okay, it's snapping there. Let me edit this one. Reverse nodes. And let me make sure this one is snapped up here. Snap. Transform. Combine. And I'm just going to edit this so it snaps to the center here. And let's just say this is a shape that I wanted to mimic this shape all the way around. I just wanted something real fancy, and this is the shape that I've decided on. And since it's not perfectly square, I could maybe come in and make it, say, 60 by 60. Apply. And I should have edit snap objects to grid checked, so click that. So now it'll snap to the grid. And you'll want this endpoint and this endpoint snapped to the grid so that you could do your four corners. We'll just move this one out of the way. So I have it selected. Whoops. I have it selected, and I'll go to Transform, Corner, Mirror. And so this is the one we want, because we want this to be all the way around. And there you go. And you'll see over at in the right that I have all these jumps. And that happens sometimes when you mirror. Here's the first one. If I hit edit, it starts here and ends there. But the mirror, I noticed, it goes differently than, it goes clockwise, whereas one of the other ones, which was it? auto repeat, I think goes counterclockwise. So I always get confused. So I could just do it the easy way and delete this and hit on this one, hit edit, reverse nodes. Now it's starting here and ending there. Now go to transform, corner, mirror. Okay, it's still there. Okay, this one starting and ending there. That's what I mean. Sometimes it just seems to happen that it doesn't matter. You still have to mess with it a little bit. So I'll hit edit on this one, and this one's in the wrong, you know, it's got to be reversed. And if you think about it, you know, the first one, it started here and ended here. Well, then if you're going to mirror it, the mirrored one's going to start there and end there too. I mean, they're mirrors of each other. So that's why, you know, you have to mess with them anyways. So I'll just reverse them. It usually happens like this, that then when you get to the third one, you don't have to, because that one is already in the right position. And then the fourth one will reverse. And there you go. Now if I combine them, let's see, they still might not be snapped. Transform, combine, they did. So there's that. Now you may say, well, I don't know if I like that so much. And it's like, well, okay, well, you can always go in and edit that. You can, you know, edit the whole thing and just delete these, delete that, and maybe, you know, bring that wherever you want it. Say you want it there. And then you don't have to worry about this one. You can just put a square note here, insert, or insert up there. And then, let's see. Well, in this case, since we didn't do this one, we really can only work with a quarter of it. Okay? Because we didn't do anything down here. Because we didn't feel like it. So we'll just split it here. It's starting here. We'll split it here. Split. Delete everything else. Click that. And let's see, how's this starting? Let's reverse it just to be sure. And we'll go to transform, corner, mirror. Okay. And so we still have to deal with this, reverse. Third one's okay. Edit, reverse. And there you go. Transform, combine, and there you go. So there's a shape. It's not really square. Let me go. Sometimes that happens. So we'll just make it 120 by 120. Okay. And it might even look better if it's rotated. No, I don't like it like that. Control Z. I like it like that. And edit, whoops, params, satin, apply, set 2, we'll make it 2.5, apply, 3D. It's okay, but they always look better when they're columns, so leave that there, just turn it yellow. well, Control Z. First, convert, create column from outline. I guess we'll make it 3, see how it looks. And we'll turn this one yellow, hide it, params. And you could see my points aren't good. So we'll go into params, uncheck auto corners, apply, and now you've got the better corners. Sometimes these are too long, so you have to have auto corners, but these should be fine. We'll just click auto shortening, pull comp to apply, and sometimes this looks pretty on a column. But sometimes it looks pretty if it's a little thicker, if you use that. Transform, change column width. There you go. Can't seem to fit it all in. Or you could leave it as just a regular column. It looks good either way. Sometimes too, it really looks good if you do the random broadening. I really like that. Just on one side, the outside. I think that looks so pretty. You know, just something different. So there you go. And then of course you could go back to your outline and you can Control C, Control V, make it a different color. Make it a regular outline. User editors, open, go into your custom ESMs, and I'm just gonna do this Shiko, and maybe we'll see how the arrowhead looks. I'm not sure. And we're going to have to expand that. Let's see. Sometimes that looks pretty over, you know, just right over the column. It just gives it a really pretty look. You have this sashiko in there. Sometimes that's really pretty. Or you can just expand it. Transform, expand, 10. Sometimes that has to be edited, but this one came clean. It looks like it needs to be edited over there. Let's do it again. Transform, just to make it bigger first. Okay. And that's because that's where the start and end point is. That happens a lot. I've noticed that. So you could just copy and paste it, turn that one yellow, then edit and go back, and then just slide everything so it's sliding in the same spot. Close your edges, slide that. This is close edges. And you should be good. We'll delete the yellow. And there you go. And then, you could have something like that. Or you could try the arrowhead. And that could be like a raw edge applique. This could be your outline. So if you don't feel like trimming, this could be what's holding it in. So that would be nice. And if that's the case, I don't know how strong that is. Let's see. Because it doesn't have a backward path on it. So you might want to put a backward path on it. In which case, you would Control C, Control V, and then click on the first one and go into params, and 2.5 would be your backward path. So you're basically creating a manual backward path. Single stitch at 2.5. And then maybe, it would be a stronger raw edge applique for you. And, making the applique, that's a whole nother lesson. So I never used this one. That's interesting. You can take this one and, let's see. If I created a horizontal, let's see if I edit, and if I created this horizontally, I'd get that. So it's not really what I would want to make a flower. Control Z. So you might want to come and do, let's go back into vector view, transform, rotate right, and kind of center horizontally, and then just rotate it. So you could do it so many ways. You could do auto repeat in a circle, since these don't really have to be connected, because we probably put something in the center. And maybe 8. That would be pretty. And Control Alt C, center it. You could connect those. You could let them connect by using a arrange outline parts and just let them connect that way, but you don't have your stitch assigned. So you may say, I think I'm going to go with the sashiko on this. And then I think, crazy about that pink, I don't know why. Then you can arrange outline parts. It'll connect here, but you can always cover that up. So arrange outline parts. Oh, they're connecting there. That's not really what I wanted. So Control Z, we won't do that. So let's just make sure we made this correctly. Let's see. edit. So it's ending there. So they're all starting and ending in the right spot. So select them all, right click, create connection, and there's all our connections. So these are done. Group. This isn't the butterfly anymore. Design. Flower. Framed. Symmetry. And then of course you could, you know, put a center. And you can use this as your center. Control C, Control V. And just shrink it down if you wanted. This is the outline, yeah. Control Alt C. And create fill. And this is where a really nice, it would look really nice in Studio Next with the mesh, but we can just wing it here. One of these fills, maybe. I'll just use this one. And there you go. And then this we could I'm just kind of winging it now. I'll just make it so she go. And if you didn't want to have, you know, such a big bud in the center, then you could move the first petal that you did, you could move it closer to the center of the hoop. And I'll show you what I mean. So if I take this and Control C, Control V, I'll hide this one in the originals here, and I'll just start this one, make it blue, and I'll ungroup it, hold Control, select the first one to unselect it, hit delete, go back into vector view. So I'll hold Control and just slide this down. So say I brought it there instead of to the very center. And I'll just make sure transform center horizontally, just make sure it's in the center. Just because it makes it easier if you ever have to edit it later. So now I'll go ahead and rotate that. So now this time, instead of doing transform auto repeat, you know, in a circle, I'll just do, well, let's see, which one did I do? 1 second. I have to go back and look. Okay, so I did do auto repeat. So now instead of doing auto repeat, I'll do the transformation tool up here, right here, or transformation window, either way. And I'll, for angle here, I'll do 8. And I'll make sure that my focus is in the center. So I'll click this here. That moved it to the center. And I'll hit this 7 times because the first one's already down. And hit apply to duplicate. And you see they overlap. I may not want them to overlap that much, so I'm going to bring this up just a little bit. So I'm going to just close this for a minute. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to hit this and hold control, and I'm just going to move this up a little. Not a lot. Okay. Make sure it's centered horizontally, and I'll go back in. 8, and then click this for the focus, apply to duplicate 7 times. That looks better. And now I could leave that overlapping, or I could do so many things with it. I mean, so many things. First of all, let me connect them all. They look so pretty that I almost don't even want to put a center in. I kind of want to leave them like that, except fix this. It really does look pretty, and then do a branching. So I think what I'll do is I'll select one of them, the top one, and hit edit. I'll click snap to node up here, uncheck this, so snap to node, and then I'll snap that there. And this one, well, it's going to be snapping to the end node, because remember, this one I'm snapping to the previous end node, so I could leave that one there. So I think, if I'm thinking correctly. So I'll select all the rest of them. I'll click it, transformation window, 8, click center, 1, 2, 3. There. And that's just a quick way to see how you can get your things to, you know, hit on each other perfectly, is to just do it and then fix one of them and then delete the rest and then rotate it again. So, but now it's like, okay, there's that one, and see how rotate is going counterclockwise? So this one, see, I had it starting here and ending here. Made another mistake. So let me select these, delete, click, edit, reverse nodes order, enter, transformation, center a hoop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And now there's no jumps. I mean, there's no scissors, or scissors mean jumps. So now that'll stitch seamlessly. And I think I have sashiko on it still. And we'll generate that. And there you go. And I could still make it a fill if I wanted. And I could, you know, get rid of overlaps and everything. I can make it one solid object. I'd have to turn it into a fill. Convert, create fill. I'll just group it. And now that it's a fill, I can come up here. I can do auto outline with that fill if I want before I do anything else. So, and what that's going to do is it's going to outline so that the ones that are underneath won't get outlined. I'll show you what I mean, but you can only do that with a fill. So we'll click, let me click save, because sometimes with auto outline, if you make a mistake, you lock up the computer, so you want to hit save. So hit auto outline. Now here that says, do you want to arrange them into a compact outline? In other words, do you want to branch them now? You could see how they're outlined. You know, you can kind of see where the dark outlines are. Now, if you want, you can do that now, or you could do it later, because it's just auto arrange. It's just branching. So, because you might want to edit it. It's easier to edit when they're all single outlines. So it's up to you. I'll just say yes, because wait a minute. I have them as a single stitch here, so I can't. I could see it says SIN. So I'm going to say no, because I want to assign it the sashiko, and then I'll branch it myself. Let's do an experiment. Let's Control Z. Let's auto outline. I'll say yes this time. Yes, use connections. And let's make it purple, and let's see how it generated. Okay, let me hide the blue. That's nice. So like this one's overlapping. Now they're going in this direction. So this one's first, second, third. So you could see that like this one's on top of this one. This one's on top of this one. This one's on top of this one, and so on. So that did well. Let's try it now without saying yes. So here's my fill. I'm going to auto outline. This time I'll say no for the auto arrange. Okay. I'll make it, I don't know, gray. And this time, now they're not letting me arrange outline parts because looks like I have a backward path there and there. So I have lots of backward paths. So sometimes if you just change the direction of them, then you could branch them. But see, now I'm wasting time. I could have just said yes and gotten this purple one and be done. What I would have to do is just click each one, hit edit. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. Reverse nodes order. Hit enter. There, it worked. So then do the same thing, edit, reverse nodes order. Oh, but it's changing these down here now. Oh, that's right. As you do one, it's going to make the next one a backward path. Let's see. Edit, reverse. Okay, it didn't. Edit, reverse. So it did down here. So when you already have a backward path, you can't branch. It won't let you. It wasn't that way in Studio Next, as I recall. Yeah, this is too much work. Because Studio Next wasn't as specific. I'm talking now, don't know what I'm doing. Okay. So now it looks like we have all regular outlines. I am interrupting the video because as I was editing it, I realized I forgot to change this to Sashiko. That was the whole point of saying no to the auto outline question. So just want you to know that at this point, if you did want to change it then to your decorative stitch, this is when you do it. So they all say single stitch, so I would go into params, give it the sashiko, apply, and then once they will change, let's click outside, there we go, and then click inside. And then once there's sashiko, then you can go ahead and branch them. Now they look like they're still correct. So with them all selected and they're all regular outlines, then I would branch it and then generate. And there you go. Let me hide the outline or the other blue one. So there you go. So when you watch when we get back to the video, just remember that I forgot to change it to sashiko. And here's the thing, if you look at the auto outline that was done, it was this purple one here. Let me hide my sashiko. Okay, so here's the auto outline, and you can see down here, I'll just ungroup it. Okay, it's all single stitches and it doesn't really look like branching. So it doesn't have backward pads or anything. If I click, you can see they're just all, they say single stitch. They're not even red, you know, like a regular red outline. There's not even an arrow for a backward pad. They kind of look like travel stitches almost. So, and here's the thing, you would say, well, you could just change those to sashiko. Well, you don't really want to change these to a decorative stitch because even though they don't look it, they are double stitched. In other words, this object here, if I were to hide it, it's still showing. You know, that's because there's 2 layers of stitching. And I mean, I don't have anything else showing that's purple. So the one below it, you know, is one of the doubled up stitches. Okay, I just hit it. And if you're still worried and you're a little confused, just click on it and hit edit. Well, if you hit edit and you still see stitches under it, you know, you still see these purple stitches. I'm in 3D, so you could see them, then you know that there's some other stitches below it. Because this one, if I hit edit, okay, now you can see the purple went away. So there was a double layer of stitches here. So that's my point, is that if you don't want to put decorative stitches and you just want to auto outline, then yeah, this is the way to go. They're just single stitches. And yes, if if you were just using single stitches, you could select them all, go into params, and set your stitch lengths. Just 2 and 2 is fine. And do it that way. But the sashiko looks so much better, you know, on something like this. Or any decorative stitch. So there's the sashiko. So it's just something to remember. There's so many little rules and little things that can go wrong if you forget about it. That's why I save a lot of my original parts of the design and I just turn them yellow, and then I don't even delete them until I get back into editor. Okay, back to the video. With the fills, the way that they're overlapping here, you could let them overlap less by doing you'd have to do a difference. So, but each one of these, when I remember when I was doing mandalas and whatnot in Studio Next, you want them to be a certain angle if you're going to actually do this correctly with a fill. So basically, before you even rotated the fill, like you would take the first fill before you did anything to it, to be honest, and you would rotate it while it's in the direction that you want it to be. In other words, I would have taken all these fills. I would have taken the first fill, gone into params, decided how I want it. I might want it to be cusp lines 2 at 90. Okay. And I believe the wave is the one that doesn't follow through. So let's see. So I'll give it a pull comp, give that 4.2. And then I would rotate it, just the fill now. Put this in the center 7 times. So you could see they rotated the way they should. The direction followed through. So, but at any rate, you know, that's kind of how you would do the fill if you were going to put a fill in. And then your outline would be after that. And then, of course, you could have your circle. It would be quite a bit smaller this time. Control-C. Okay. And then, oh, I forgot about the outline. Outline. I would say even one of the columns, if you converted it to a column. And that's kind of thick. I think I made it too thick. We'll just go with okay, just a minute. Give me a minute. My dog is yelling at me. Okay. Params. Something like that. Or even 7 might be pretty. Auto shortening. Or you could use a custom ESM Mine are buried in this folder. Flames is kind of cool looking. And a lot of these up here are nice. The back stitches are cute. Heartbeat. Oh, these other ones are from, I must have edited them in Studio Next because they're not showing up here. So Heartbeat Narrow. That's non-directional. So that's cute. It looks almost the same as that column. And then, you know, it's easier to manipulate it then because you could make it wider if you wanted. That's cute. I like that. Or flames. It's cute too. Maybe make this 3. And there you go. These fills, I never did connect them. Did I do them right? Let me select these, except for the first. Right click, create connection. Okay, my connections are all hidden. That's because I started and ended the first fill in the correct manner. So we'll group these. Save this. I know, I'm almost done, honey. And then this flower here, what I would do is I would give it a scale of, say, 50% and maybe not make it so tight. And now it looks more kind of like a sunflower center. And you do want to check your density map. Make sure. It's not bad. You know, you could see where the overlaps are. I would probably leave them because either you're going to have density here where the fills are overlapping, or you're going to have a lot of density where your outline is. So I would probably leave these fills like they are and let them overlap. So let's see. Now this is the outline that I have. This is the center, so I'm just not going to use this one. I'm getting confused. And then if I just wanted the outline, what is this? This was the outline that was branched originally. So if I just had that one and the purple center, that would in itself be pretty. You know, even for a quilt, that would be perfectly acceptable. That would. Maybe not this, but this would be. Especially if this were sashiko as well. There's just so many variations of this. You could have both of these. It's so cute. So there you go. Here's another 5-hour video. I just get so carried away. Well, all right, guys. I hope this has helped. And there's just so many ways to mirror. It's just never ending, never ending. So many options with this program. It is the most powerful program out there. Hands down, with the snapping and snap to nodes and everything. And now we have 2 vector softwares, 2 vector modules, Studio Next and Studio Regular. We're lucky. We're so lucky. Okay, we'll see you next time. Bye.